Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We've just seen an instant classic, Derek Chisora versus Deontay Wilder. They go 12 rounds. Unfortunately for Derek Chisora, in his 50th and probably final fight, although he didn't specifically say that he's retiring, I think we all know that this is the last time we're going to see Derek Chisora, and for his sake, I hope we do see this as his last fight, because I think it was a good send-off. I think if you were to encapsulate Derek Chisora's career, summarize it, and pick a fight that best describes Derek Chisora as a fighter, I think today was it. All right, I think, a legendary fighter attracts all of England to come and watch him, puts on an entertainment show. It's messy, but it's entertaining. It's a great fight. It's a great scrap. Sometimes it goes his way and sometimes it doesn't. I think all of that was encapsulated today in this fight between Derek Chisora and Deontay Wilder. As I said, it didn't go his way today. Deontay Wilder wins the official scorecards. They read 115-111 Wilder, 115-112 Chisora, 115-113 Wilder. So Wilder wins by a split decision. I actually scored it 114-111. I'll have it up on the screen round by round how I scored it. But it was a mess. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about the fight, and we're going to talk about what's next for Chisora and Wilder. But first, if you could all head down the bottom there, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave all your thoughts in the comments below. As I said, up here's my scorecard. You would have seen it's a complete mess. I mean, the judges' scorecards were messy. The commentators didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was going on. And the fight was very, very entertaining. Like, it was as messy as it was entertaining. But to do a scorecard was very, very difficult. I had a 114-111. And you got to look at rounds like round 8. We see Chisora dropped in the round, but Wilder deducted a point, so you end up with a 9-8. We look at round 11, where I'm pretty sure Wilder won the round. He dropped Chisora through the ropes, but it shouldn't have really been a knockdown, and Chisora landed half a shot on Wilder and he slipped, and that was counted as a knockdown, but not counted as a knockdown in the end. But I think Chisora's did land as a knock. Like, these sorts of decisions and messy parts of the fight made it very hard to score. So you'll see how I scored it on screen. I thought the opening few rounds were clearly Wilder, and as we went through, Chisora's best two rounds were rounds 4 and 5, I believe. They were by far his best rounds. He actually hurt Wilder in the 4th, and I thought Chisora might actually get on top of him and beat Wilder, stop Wilder in the 4th round. Wilder gets through it. I think round 8's by far Wilder's best round. Chisora was very, very, very lucky to get through that 8th round. Like, extremely lucky. I don't know how he survived it. Deontay Wilder at the end claimed that he took it easy on him. He didn't want to knock him out, so he let him pass through that 8th round. Whether that's true or not, I'm not sure. It was a weird approach because Derek Chisora was clearly, like, out on his feet there, and Wilder, instead of starting to pile on him, he just sort of stood back and waited and watched. So maybe he did take it easy on Derek Chisora. He didn't want to, knock him out. I don't know. But it was a very, very good fight, and, it's one of these fights that you'll plenty of times go back and watch. In terms of high-level boxing, in terms of either of these guys, particularly Wilder, we're going to talk about Wilder first. Wilder's claiming that he wants Usyk next, he wants Fury next, he wants AJ next. Once again, I just didn't see anything today that makes me want to see those fights, nor do I think any of those fights are competitive. He was better today than I've seen him in a very long time. This is the best Wilder we've probably seen since the Fury trilogy. Because not only was he probably landing his shots a little bit better, that helped with Derek Chisora constantly going into him, but we saw a bit of grit, a bit of determination from Wilder, because I feel like a Wilder 2 years ago, if he gets hit with what he got hit with in 4th round, we probably don't see the end of the fight. I think he showed a lot of grit and a lot of heart today that we haven't seen from Wilder in quite a long time, and that makes me feel a little bit more confident in seeing Wilder continue fighting, not necessarily at that higher level, but just in general, see him in the ring competing. I think we can confidently say Wilder still has enough about him to have fun, entertaining, competitive fights like he did today. In terms of an Usyk type fight, in terms of a world title run, there was nothing there today that we could say makes you think Wilder will go and do that. All right, and I didn't expect there to be, but I will say Wilder did surprise me. Wilder performed better today than I gave him credit for in my preview. I said Chisora would stop him and beat him. I thought that Wilder was a little bit weak mentally and physically and was nowhere near his best self. He definitely proved me wrong today. I think he was a lot better than I thought he was going to be. He performed a lot better, and I think that grit and heart, shows his mental state as well. So for Deontay Wilder, in terms of where he is as a person and as a boxer, it's a much better place than I believe he was in. But it's not in a place to go and compete against Alexander Usyk and any of these guys. To be honest with you, if you were to pick a fight, I wouldn't have minded Deontay Wilder saying this was the best way for me to end my career. I don't see it being a better way to end Deontay Wilder's career than today. Packed out a stadium, put on a great, entertaining fight. Everybody loved it. He gets the decision. You know, you could ride off into the sunset off the back of that victory. You know, something Derek Chisora was hoping for today. You know, the type of send-off he was hoping for. He got half of it, Derek Chisora. He got the entertaining fight. He got the crowd. He got the applaudance. He got the recognition for his unbelievable career, but, you know, doesn't get the decision. And Deontay Wilder now runs that risk of losing to one of these big names. Do I believe he gets any of these? Probably. The reason I say he probably does get one of these big names is because I think we were unbelievably close to Usyk fighting Wilder before Derek Chisora offered that fight. I think we were, you know, this close to that fight happening. So if he can get Alexander Usyk, who holds all those belts, he can basically get anyone, in my opinion. If the money's right and the people putting on the fights want to see it, he can get it. And that's probably a big thing. Whether he can be competitive in them, especially the Usyk type fight, no. AJ versus Fury, I mean, like Wilder versus AJ or Fury, I think he can be competitive in both of those fights because I don't think we've seen the best of Fury for a very long time. And we all know that AJ hasn't really been the same for a very long time. That Daniel Dubois loss sort of encapsulates that. So I think Wilder can put on an entertaining fight against Fury and AJ, and I think they would be competitive. But in terms of a high-level fight, in terms of a world title-level fight, in terms of taking on a Dubois, a Wardley, and Usyk at Kabayel, he's nowhere near it. And I think we all already knew that before coming into this fight, and we know it after it. So for Deontay Wilder, I think he can get a big money fight next. I think he can still, you know, run it back one more time. He can pretty much go until he loses. And today he won. For Derek Chisora, an unfortunate way to end a career. When I say he's got a very unbelievable career, there's a lot of losses on that resume, but 50 fights, I think when you talk about boxing legends in England particularly, if you talk about UK boxing legends, Derek Chisora will always be one of those names on that sheet. And I think that's something he can hold his head up high. He will never be, in my opinion, you know, a world level, you know, legendary fighter, but in terms of a domestic level English legend, he by far encapsulates that. And I think he'll be one of the first names when you talk about people that shaped English boxing, that were a staple piece of English boxing, that were legends of English boxing. Derek Chisora's name will always come up. And you could see how many people today turned up to watch Derek Chisora have his 50th fight. And I think that sort of tells you all you need to know about Derek Chisora and that character. He put on an excellent fight today. You know, it takes two to tango. And although he lost today, the only reason that fight was so entertaining was because he was there to fight. He showed grit, he showed heart, he showed determination to keep continuing. And you know what? He still can land a big shot. How Deontay Wilder ate it up, I'm very, very surprised. But in turn, it was a very entertaining fight. Bit of a disappointment that Derek Chisora doesn't get to go out, you know, the way he wanted with a victory. But, you know, in Derek Chisora fashion, he gets the Five Guys belt at the end, which was great to see for him. And 50 fights, probably a retirement. I think he should retire. And, you know, maybe a job in punditry. I think that would be fun to see. Guys, let me know what you guys thought of that fight. Like I said, I don't believe that I saw anything today that makes me think Wilder can compete at a top level, nor did I expect to see anything from Wilder to say that he could compete at a top level. But I will admit when I'm wrong. He did surprise me today. He did perform much better than I thought he was going to. So I'm happy to hold my hands up and say, Wilder, you did surprise me today. I didn't think you had that type of performance in you. Wasn't perfect. It was scrappy. It was messy. But I think the heart and determination he showed through that fight shows a little bit of a turning point from where he's been the past few years. And that's what I'll say on that. Guys, let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe. I'm out of here, guys. See ya.